Okay, hello YouTube. Today we're going to look at prime numbers and prime factor trees. So, let's just remind ourselves what the prime numbers are. So the definition of a prime number is a number that has exactly two factors. So 1 is actually not a prime number. 2 is a prime number because 1 and 2 go into it. 1 goes into everything. 3 is a prime number because only 1 and 3 go into it, so it has exactly two factors. 4 is not a prime number because 1, 2 and 4 go into it. 5 is a prime, only 1 and 5 go into it, so it has exactly two factors. 6 is not prime because it's even. Another way of saying something's not prime is if it has non-trivial factors. 6 is divisible by 2, so it's not prime. 7 is prime. The only number that goes into 7 is 1 and 7. So any even number can't be prime because they're divisible by 2. 9 is not prime, it's divisible by 3. 11 is prime. 13 is prime. 15 is not prime, it's divisible by 3. 17 is prime. 19 is prime. Okay, so these are the prime numbers, the first few. And so the question for today is, what is the highest common factor of 90 and 108? So we're going to look at a few prime factor trees first, and then we will come to answering this question. Okay, so let's start with 76. So I prepared this earlier. 76 is 2 times 38. 2 is a prime, so we circle 2. 38 is not prime yet, so we see if we can get another factor in. So 2 goes into 38 again, 19 times. 19 is a prime. So 76 is 2 times 2 times 19. So primes are like the atoms in numbers, they're indivisible. Okay, atoms have protons, electrons and neutrons, but primes are indivisible. Okay, so let's look at 52. 52 is 2 times 26, which is 2 times 13. 2 is prime, 2 is prime, 13 is prime. Okay, let's try 37. 2 doesn't go into 37 because 37 is odd. 3 doesn't go into 37. 4 doesn't go in. 5 doesn't go in. 6 doesn't go in. 7 doesn't go in. And once we get past the square root of 37, we know we've covered all the possible outcomes for the numbers that go in. So once we've gone past 6, we know that 37 isn't divisible. So this was a trick question. 37 is just a prime, and we can't break it down any further. Okay, let's do 210. So 2 goes into 210, 105 times. Now, factors of 105, 2 obviously doesn't go in, 3 possibly goes in. There's a trick you can do to work out if something's divisible by 3. You add the digits, and if that number is divisible by 3, so e.g. 1 add 0 add 5 is 6, 6 is divisible by 3, so we know 105 must be divisible by 3. So let's work that out. That's 35. Okay, and 3 doesn't go into 35, but 5 does, 7 times. So 210 is 2 times 3 times 5 times 7. Okay, so we'll do a couple more. 102, 2 times 51. So does 3 go into 51? I think it does. 3's into 30, 10. 3's into 21, 7, so it's 17 times. So 102 is 2 times 3 times 17. Let's try 400. 2 obviously goes into 400. So this looks like it's going to be a highly divisible number. Okay, so 400 is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 5 times 5. And we've run out of paper. Okay, so that's breaking down some numbers into their prime factors. So 76 is 2 times 2 times 19. So basically 76 has factors, and that means it's what we call a composite number. So 76 is a composite number because it has factors. 52 is a composite number. 37 we couldn't break down, so 37 is a prime number. 210 we could break down. We broke it into these factors, so 210 is a composite number. 102 we broke down, so it's a composite number. 400 is a composite number, and it's highly divisible. It has lots of factors. Okay, so that's breaking down numbers into their prime factor trees. So we're going to look at the highest common factor of 90 and 108. That's the question. So let's just write that out again, so you've got it there. What is the, so I'll abbreviate it, HCF, highest common factor of 90 and 108. So we can use the prime factor trees to do the calculation. Okay. Alright, so 90 is 2 times 3 times 5 times 3. What you should really do is keep the smaller numbers to the left, but it still works. So 108, let's look at 108. 2 times 54, which is 2 times 27, which is 3 times 9. 9 can be broken down, 3 times 3. Okay, so in order to work out the highest common factor, you can use this visual method, putting 2 circles down, one for 90 and one for 108. So we're finding the highest common factor of 90 and 108, and it's this bit in the middle here that gives us the highest common factor. So in the middle we put the factors that are in both lists. So there's a 2 here and a 2 there, so it's in both lists, so we can put a 2 there. There's a 3 there and a 3 there, so that's in both lists, so we can put it in the middle. There's not a 5 in both lists, but there's one more 3 in both lists. Okay, and then you put the remaining factors in these circles. So 2, 3, 3 in the middle, and 2 and 3 left over. So the highest common factor, HCF, is 2 times 3 times 3. 2 times 3 is 6, times 3 is 18. So the highest common factor is 18. Okay? So this is a very neat way of doing it. When I asked people this question before, a lot of them said 9. And 9 is a factor of 90 and 108. It goes into both. But doing this prime factor tree method reveals that the highest common factor is actually 18 that goes into both these numbers. Okay, and so just to point out, the lowest common multiple of these two numbers is all these prime factors multiplied together. So the highest common factor is just the ones in the overlap, but the lowest common multiple is all of them multiplied together. So that all those factors multiplied to make 108 times 108 by 5, and you get the lowest common multiple. So that is actually 540. So that's just like a bonus. So in future we'll go over these. We'll look at some highest common factor and lowest common multiple questions. Okay, so what have we learned about today? Let's just do a quick summary. So prime numbers. So a prime number is a number with exactly 2 factors. So an example of a prime number is the number 7. The only 2 factors that go into 7 are 1 and 7. And prime factors actually get rarer the bigger the numbers get, but that's just an aside. So a prime number is a number with exactly 2 factors. Composite numbers have more than 2 factors. So if we go back, 76, 52, 210, 102, 400 are all examples of composite numbers because they can be broken down into prime factors. So composite numbers can be broken down into prime factors. And finally, prime factor trees can be used to get highest common factor and lowest common multiple.